Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Nisley welcoming you to week 4 for our Luke's Acts course. Now, this week is a loaded week and there's just a lot going on, and I want to introduce you to some of the important ideas. So, you're going to be reading a chapter on Luke and Acts written by David Bosch. David Bosch was a South African missiologist who was killed tragically in a car accident in 1992. And it seems like ever since he wrote this book called Transforming Mission, that the rest of Christian scholarship in missions has been trying to catch up to him. It's a brilliant book, and it's very well written, difficult to read, but oh, it's so rich and deep. So make sure you get a copy of his book. I have two of them, actually. I have the old version and I have the newer version, and they are just precious resources to me. So David Bosch, enjoy that. The person who wrote this course, Dr. Dale Lemke, and I were in seminary together, and we were both so impressed with what David Bosch had to say that I'm so glad that Dr. Lemke included that work in this course. There is a PowerPoint on the difference between dispensational and covenant theologies, and you want to pay attention to that. Now, dispensational theology is really championed by a person like David Jeremiah in Dallas Theological Seminary. Of course, Darrell Bock is a dispensationalist. And then covenant theology is more Reformed theology, and so people like R.C. Sproul, of course, and more contemporary Alistair Begg, they come from those camps. So you want to understand what the differences are between those two. And I'll just give you a hint that I'm on the district credentialing committee, and one of the questions that comes up is about the role of Israel in your ordination questions. And it's good to understand what are some of the arguments behind that. And so this PowerPoint helps you to understand those issues well. Darrell Bock does a great job in listing the central theme of Luke Acts, which is Jesus is the Lord of all, so the gospel can go to all. What a great, pithy, P-I-T-H-Y, way of describing the theme of two of the more difficult books in the Bible. Jesus is the Lord of all, so the gospel can go to all. Make sure you memorize that, put it on a note somewhere, put it on your bathroom mirror, whatever. But get that quote down and use that often in ministry. I wouldn't want you to miss that. Now, you have a jigsaw assignment this week, so you'll be summarizing one of Bock's chapters at 12, 13, 14, 15, skip 16 and 17, or 18. So you want to summarize that chapter and then respond to questions per the instructions that are there. For your project, you'll do the same thing with Acts that you did with Luke. So you need to look at 10 passages, and then you have the option of putting your own comments in, or what I would prefer is that you list scholarly comments so they might help you out as you're working on your final project for this course. Now, the discussion in this week of this class, is the most popular and the most contentious of all the discussions in this class. It's a great discussion. So you have two resources that will help you out for that discussion. There is something by Cotter called it's entitled The Causes of Poverty in the New Testament. It's a wonderful little article. Take a look at that. Make sure that you understand that. There's some very important ideas that are mentioned in that article. And then there's an excerpt from The Perspectives Reader by Patrick Johnstone called A Violent Reaction to Mercy. Now, you want to get the excerpt from Johnstone. You don't want to mess with the one from Don Richardson, although he's also an excellent author. But Patrick Johnstone writes about the episode where Jesus is almost pushed over the side of a cliff in Luke chapter 4. And Jesus is quoting Isaiah 61, verse 2, to his listeners. And he doesn't quote the entire verse. That seems to make people really angry. So you want to read that little excerpt. Once again, it's just about this big, but think about that and think about the implications of that. So, hey, there's a lot for you to do this week, and if you need any help from me, don't hesitate to give me a call. I'm here for you, and I apologize for my cold. It's been running around my church and going through my house right now, so please keep me in your prayers. And I'm sure you're dealing with the same thing. And I just decided that I'm going to get the cold, build up the resistance to it, and then power through it. So anyway, I'll leave that with you. May the Lord bless you. Once again, you need me, give me a shout. Okay, guys, take care. Bye-bye.